So this movie is the third movie in the Fast and Furious franchise, but yet technically it takes place after number 6. It's a little confusing. Actually, it's very simple to comprehend. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 3, 7. Fast and Furious Tokyo Hot Dog. That's... I heard it referred to that once and that's always been in my head. But it's Tokyo Drift. And yeah, this movie stars Lucas Black, Sung Kang, and Bow Wow, or Little Bow Wow. I think he's Bow Wow by this point. And this is the first of the Fast and Furious movies to be directed by Justin Lin, and he will go on to make the next 3 after this. And this movie was almost the nail in the coffin for the Fast and Furious franchise. It pretty much was for 3 years. You know, we've got none of the stars coming back. It's in a different side of the world, different type of racing and everything. It seemed like the franchise after number 2 is just like, Vin Diesel didn't want to come back. And it's just like, this is like, it might as well have been directed video, they thought. But is it actually as bad as people think it is? I will talk about that. Lucas Black plays the star, and he is a 17-year-old, which I think he looks a little old to be 17, but he's this sort of troubled kid who just loves racing, and he's moving from town to town because he's causing trouble. He ends up getting sent to live with his dad in Tokyo, and he becomes involved in the world of Tokyo Drift. That's a different type of racing. It's not about being fast, it's about doing awesome turns. And he ends up getting involved with a girl who's also dating a Yakuza dude. You got a little Bow Wow in here. I think he was just Bow Wow in this movie though. You got the cool character Han, and yeah, Tokyo Drift is a new type of driving, and that's what this movie is. A different style, totally different. We got the Tokyo setting. You got the Japanese culture, Tokyo. We're going to show some of the cool stuff about a new driving, new character. We don't need to follow Paul Walker and see him driving backwards, giving everyone the finger. We don't need that. And I think this movie is underrated. People treat it like the worst of the series. Oh, it's got no one from the other movies. Well, technically, at this point, it's very connected to the franchise and very integral and important. But yeah, Lucas Black, a guy that... I'm trying to think what else I've seen him in. He's in the Friday Night Lights movie, I believe, and this. I don't know him from anything else that I can... I feel like there's one other movie I know him from. I think it was Jarhead. And I think he's as good as Paul Walker, at least in the first or second movie. I think he's a decent main character. He's not terribly interesting at all. They give him very little to do. But specifically the first couple scenes, I thought he was really cool because he's got this cool muscle car. He's just silent, not saying much, just giving cool looks. He's in a car crash, and then afterwards he's in a police station. He's hitting on a girl, and he like flashes her a smile. He's all full of bloody teeth. It's like Fight Club. Like in the beginning, he was kind of just a cool, silent type. And then they make him talk, and it's kind of like, he's just kind of a dull dude, very boring, not interesting. But it is sort of like Paul Walker's character. It's like he's not very interesting. It's just he's getting involved in this cool world. And yeah, I think this Tokyo Drift world is pretty cool. The idea of the racing and pulling off amazing drifting, because I've drifted, not on purpose. I've more properly put, I've hydroplaned because of snow or something. But the idea of drifting and like some of the stuff they do in this is real. The amazing ways that a car will just drift up a circular thing in a parking garage, I don't even know what it's called, and just keeps going, and like stuff like that. That's precision, like ballet for cars, and it looks very cool. Although you do get a typical Fast and Furious race at the beginning. He's smashing through like built or soon to be built houses, and that was a very cool scene in the beginning. And yeah, Lucas Black, I thought he was fine. You know, you got Bow Wow here, and I like Bow Wow, and I can prove it. I just wonder if I have the movie in here to prove it. 1 second. I know we're talking about Fast and Furious, but I am a fan of the movie Lottery Ticket. Yeah, why am I bringing this up? Why am I showing it? I don't know. I thought it was a fun little movie. I like Bow Wow in it. I don't know if you can hear that. It's very loud upstairs. But yeah, there's just so much noise going on upstairs. I can't take it. Serenity now, serenity now. I need serenity now. Okay, I'm ready to finish. But anyway, Bow Wow, I thought he was fine. He's kind of like the ludicrous character. He's just a guy that can get you. I got Jordans before they're even out on the street yet. You want an iPod? Stuff like that. He's got a cool car, okay? His Incredible Hulk car. It is awesome. And also, the scene where they introduce it is cool. It's some of the cool Japanese culture where a parking garage is basically like a vending machine for cars where it's like a carousel or whatever. It'll bring it down. It was cool. I like some of this Japanese culture. It's cool. It's a new interesting setting that I like the movie taking place in. Kang as Han, who actually before this movie, the timeline, from here on, it gets weird, but it also makes sense once you get through the whole franchise. Because Han, his character was in a drama from this director, Justin Lin, Better Luck Tomorrow. And originally it's like, okay, he went from that movie to this. But now with the timeline how it is, he went from Better Luck Tomorrow to Fast and Furious 4, 5, 6, and then Tokyo Drift. And yeah, Justin Lin thought it was a cool idea. I think he cast him, or then Kang is like, let's make him Han or something like that. The idea that to bring a character from a way different movie into this, I like that. But Han is such a cool character. He's just naturally cool, calm. He's just a casual, cool dude. He's like George Clooney or Brad Pitt from Ocean's 11. And he just exudes it. It's just coming off him. He is just cool. And he's the most memorable and interesting character in this movie. And yeah, that technically shouldn't be. It should be Lucas Black, should be most interesting. But he's kind of dull. But I love Kang. I love Han. And the villains in this, the Yakuza villain. Basically, Lucas Black puts it best. You're the Justin Timberlake of Tokyo, aren't you? It's like, yeah, that's about as memorable as he got, was the insult thrown against him. He's just some Yakuza dude, or not even a Yakuza's nephew that his uncle lets him do some stuff. And now someone's revving a dirt bike outside. But yeah, the villain's very forgettable, as is the romance. I forget the lady that played her, but it doesn't matter. She's so dull and boring. She's attractive, but they also try hard. They give her, like, her mom was a hooker and then she got taken in by the Yakuza, and the people that raised her, like the dude is the villain that sort of raised her as a stepbrother. He's banging her. Like, they try and add all these things to make her interesting, but she's very dull and forgettable. It's like, Han is memorable, and I kind of like Lucas Black and Bow Wow, but that's it. Everyone else is very forgettable. Who else is in this? The uncle. I think it's Sonny Chiba. He's a star, but I don't know what he's from, and I should. I know that name. Someone in the comments tell me what he's famous for, because I know that name. But the star of this movie, more than Lucas Black, is this new setting. Tokyo. It's cool, atmospheric. I like the setting. I like the culture. I like the driving. The drifting's cool. Is it all that memorable? Like the first movie, we had that great truck sequence. The second movie, they were memorable, but nothing really stood out over top of everything else. This one really doesn't have, like, the idea of the drifting is cool, but there's no great, memorable action sequence you're going to come away from this and remember. In fact, the ending's kind of dull, and it almost feels forced, like, oh, it all comes to this. And even though it should end differently, we'll just race it out. We'll settle our differences through a race. No, you would probably shoot him or something. And also, the villain's name is DK. Donkey Kong? No, Drift King. Isn't that silly? I agree. So yeah, Tokyo Drift, I like the setting enough. It's interesting, it's just also kind of dull with the action. It's not as memorable as even 2. 2 is memorable for how silly and dumb it is, but this one is underrated. I don't think it's terrible. It's not the worst in the franchise. There's things about it I like. It's just not overall that great action movie that you kind of want. I would give this movie a C+, not the worst in the franchise. It's got some things to it. It's just not overly memorable. There's stuff about it I like. It's just not that memorable. But it's important considering this one takes place right before number 7. And this is actually the only one I don't own yet. All the other ones are on my shelf over there. I will own this one. I was going to buy the tire set, but it's all my movies in a tire. I worry it might roll off the shelf or something. I don't know. Yeah, comment below, tell me what you guys thought of Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.